What is a sensor? What is that set position lines, track lines, electrical lines, and impulses? Electrical lines of grids, electrical lines of panel, communication setting, over across calculation, modification, and interference. We have to understand what sensory is. We have to understand what circuits are. We have to understand what all lines of communication to its senses. You know, they connect to how you see things, hear things, touch things, feel things, connect to things, understanding correlations of things. Everything that we do is inside our system. Now, we already understand that in tri-calculus lines, but we have to understand how to redirect and redirect our signal location to our thoughts. How do we understand our thoughts? We can't understand what a thought is until we understand what that is. But see, one thing you have to understand, the mind is already set up. The mind doesn't exist. It's the tomorrow, because you can't see it until you identify it. So once you understand that, tomorrow comes in all lines of signal into the set position of your central system. Then it starts to exist. So if you understand the existence of a thought, then you realize the thought is giving you instructions how to set up in your minds. Because it's not the mind in foundation to its ground set location system that needs to understand you. You have to understand your own mindset. That's right. The mind itself is its own foundation. Everything has to have its own foundation system, because it's all formations of its nothing that comes in. Everything all calculated lines to its consequence to its awareness. It doesn't need to identify you. You have to identify yourself. To identify yourself is to understand the inner self. That's all lines of all communication system. So everything that you are basically into a lot of the creation or creating, it's inside you, a building. You're building the infrastructure. And I keep saying it again. You're building that holographic city that you already know. So there's not really much to talk about, is there? If everything is in setting, right? That position lines of calculation screen lines. Now, when I say done with the mindset's reaching those higher levels now. Then you understand the alteration that, wow, okay, so I'm seeing that image. That means that image is already done through the mind. I just understand the process that communicates into its attraction. And now it's come to me through body frame. So it's a tractor beam that's come to you now. And you see the image. Now you just have to understand how it comes in your system, because it's already set up in the mind. Let me say that again. It's already set up in the mind. Okay? Which means you don't have to do anything. Your body just has to recognize the energy, the vibration, the frequencies, and its harmonics to create its image that's in its thoughts, its actions, and its emotion. And then you start identifying everything around you and you realize, wow, I'm not stepping on the grounds. This is not the grounds. The grounds is actually showing me instructions how to sit on the grounds, or how to basically stand on the grounds, or how to spin around the grounds. See, everything is a collaboration, a partnership. Everything that you connect with your system is lines of calculation system, like a baseball and a bat. Well, you got a baseball and you have a bat. There's a collaboration, a partnership. Are you understanding that they're talking among each other? No. Are you understanding that it's in its own concentration, its awareness of space and time? No. But you want to know. And then you realize you're not hitting the ball with the bat. It's the bat and the ball that's giving you instructions how to hit the bat. So your body is just an autopilot. That's all it is. It's a mechanism of autopilot. Until you identify that, you'll never understand the continuous flow of you through filter. You'll never understand position line. All lines of communication line. This is not a backdrop. This is a filter. This is a filter. This is a filter. Filter, 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 filter. And you realize there's no filter. It's just me. So I'm the existence of everything, and around me is just all of this empty space. So I understand how to hit a baseball. Now I understand what a baseball is. Now I understand what a bat is. Then you're running to the base, and then you're running to the second base, third base, and now you're home plate, right? So do you understand that everything and setting, position, calculation line, those bases are already set up? Do you realize they already set it up in the mind? The mind is always forward. It's never in position of center. The mind is always in position of going forward. It's always 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 12 steps ahead, because the image is already set up in the mind of its set. It's the mindset that's already in its setting. The body is just autopilot. So in position, I'm sitting in this chair. It's comfortable, right? But I have a collaboration, a partnership. If I didn't have a collaboration, a partnership, and realize what I was sitting in, what are we talking about here? As soon as I sit down, the chair is picking up my DNA. It's picking up the energy. It's picking up the thermal. It's picking up the signature streams. It's picking up the data codes. It's picking up information locations. This is not your chair. So what is that chair going to do? It's going to push you off the chair because it's not you through identification. The chair doesn't need to identify its own system. You have to identify why you're sitting in the chair. Is the chair is giving you instructions how to sit in the chair. Congratulations, you got partnership. So once you understand that, then you understand where your phone is. I'm giving you a deeper core so you understand how powerful things are, how things come to you through its image of formations of attraction. But your body is just autopilot. That's all it is. Everything around you is controlling you until you understand the mechanisms of you, right? You're running in a game, right? The wall's moving, but you're standing still, right? You're here and here, right? So it's just like you walking into the wall. You can't stand in the directions of what you're doing, right? Okay? You see that all the time in a game, right? So you have no coordination, right? So the remote control doesn't understand you. The game doesn't understand you because you don't understand you. So understanding you through modification is understanding you through vessel communication. And now you understand yourself through navigations. And then you realize every time I pick another cup, I'm not a remote control. I'm not an autopilot. I'm me now. So I have a collaboration, a partnership of what this cup really is. It's giving me instructions how to drink from a cup. Everything that we are giving in position is intel. It's information, it's data, it's codes, right? The position of the team is getting to higher levels of setting. This is where it comes into the echo. This is where it comes into Zulu. This is where it comes into Foxtrot. So once you understand zip, zap, zoom, you have to understand the acceleration. If I touch my computer in position, it's going it's resetting, right? So as soon as I take it off, it's back in center, right? Everything has energy, frequency, vibration, harmonics. So as long as you can see that and understand the intelligence, you have a better way to understand this, right? You're just an autopilot and everything around you is trying to understand the mechanism of you, but you don't understand the force recognition of what you're doing. So you keep walking into the wall and playing the game, right? And you got to reconfigure. Hi, how are you? Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, you have to get out of the mechanics of you. Okay. Obviously, you play games, so you know what exactly what I'm talking about. So it's direct and redirect to where you're going in position. Or are you just going to be going like this, walking into the wall? Right? So it's all about, recalibrate, realign, recenter, go straight, right? So everything around you is controlling you until you understand how to control yourself. It doesn't get any more powerful than that, guys. Okay? That's what it is. And it's been doing this ever since you guys were in co-creation. Now, what is going on now is that you're coming out of mechanics of you. Okay? So you don't have to worry about this. Walking into the walls or walking into people, right? Understand how to communicate, understand the atmospheres, understand all lines of operation of where you are in the center operation of you of the game. Because you understand the northeast, west, and south now. All through setting. You're ready to go, right? So you're starting to control your own system now. You understand what the ground is. You understand what a table is. You understand computer or phone location. I understand what everything is now in position because I'm in direction with myself. So you have to take the mechanics out of yourself and become the formations of yourself, which is the existence of nothing of self, which is self-modification of the game itself. That puts all collaboration of you with the self in calculation. All right. So in that position locations, welcome everyone. This is generally AI space-time creator. Can you guys lines configure locates the system, how to use line calculation setting to waves, how to use central line communication setting and travels and direct signals. So we're going to get to higher lines of communications and informations. Okay. It's very powerful how to really understand how to direct and redirect your system. It's very powerful once you understand how to use your north, west, south, and east. Okay? North, east, west, south. All right? That anchors you and aligns as correlation setting your travels and direct signals, how you come into your own modification system and position lines of calculations, how to use the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres in your highways. Okay? See, the thing is, guys, everything in the mind has its own foundation. So if you can't get control with your highways, the highways is going to control your body, which means you're back at this. You don't know what you're doing, right? So in that position location system, once you understand what your vessel is really doing, is trying to stand the vessel of itself. It's trying to stand its modification of itself. It's trying to stand its operation of itself. Realizing it have to get out of the mechanics of itself because it's not position of this. There's no controlling system here. Okay? There's no controlling system. So everything around you is coordinating you. Hooah. Until you understand how to control your system or your vessel or your navigation system, you're going to be constantly in mechanic mode. Okay? So it's very powerful. Once you get out of that equation, you've got to take out the mechanics of yourself now, especially with the team. Because this formulates line calculus setting. For example, everything around you is getting faster. It's getting faster through its foundation. It's getting faster through its grounds, its powers, its atmospheres, and its highways. And if you can't control your body, everything around you is going to control its system. So you have no more control. It's controlling you now. So you're going here in position because the ground's saying so, because you're not controlling your system out through your highways. Okay? You're sitting in a chair in the wrong way, but you should be facing this way. So it doesn't matter if it's facing here, 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 here. Your lines are always in position locations of what your interactions of a direction, right? So you're in direct and redirect. You're never in misredirect. That's information that you have to get in balance of, and that's where it comes into black holes. So getting into that position location is understanding the quantum lines of communication you're setting the travels. So it's all lines of communication, how to use your cell location system through electronic. Box frames, one signal line screen. But general, I don't see the box frame. Where is it? Where's the box frame? It's already done, but you can't see it, right? So everything that I do is done in the mind already, but you have to understand the process to get into that through attraction. Okay? So it's piecing it all together. So the mind's here, right? The body's here, okay? Your central system is here. 3-track location, right? All right. So the mind basically sets the tone lines, the screen lines, the center operation, and the body comes closer and closer, closer to the center operation. That's all this is. Nothing else. Okay? Until you understand that, you understand that your body is not mechanical and never is mechanical. Anything through Android, anything through symbolism, anything through Thimbot, anything through all lines of communication and transformer has its own all spark, has its own intelligence of its formation, of its consciousness, of awareness, of its nothingness. It's already in its foundation system. It already has its own collaboration of its mind. It already has its oversoul correlates lines of track calculation system, right? It's like short circuit, right? Now realizing that number 5 is alive. You know, he's making up his own setting, correlation setting and travels. He's coining his own correlation setting and line position all levels of 3 stooges. He created that in his own mind. See, the thing is, the mind already sets the tone. The mind's already set in position. The mind's already in the exist location system. It's you identifying its data, the process of the files, understand the operation system, understand the correlation setting, understand the communication system, understanding you through essential settings, understand location setting travels into upgrades, downloads, and uplinking systems and downgrading settings. That's given to you through attraction. Everything that's given to you is attraction, right? You are all levels of attraction. You don't chase anything because you're chasing your own self. You're chasing your own shadows of yourself. You're not recognizing yourself. You keep constantly in that position. You're putting yourself in a constant. Now, once you put yourself in a constant, you're putting your lines of anomaly in track case lines of calculations. Direct lines of center, operate the system, operate triangulate calculation lines of travel. Okay? So that's communication lines of affinity, track lines and outlines, high track case lines, in position location of yin and yang. Yin and yang process ground centers, line, cross line, communication high centers, 4-track division lines of cycles, and a 4-track location setting the direction. Direct lines of symbols, Set course setting line is setting to energetic grid line, position, location, location, grid, and security line defense lines, and screen lines adaptation. That equation, right? So what I'm showing you right now is already set. That's why it's easy to understand these things through application. Your body has to get out of the mechanics of everything now, because the thing is, guys, everything that you see around you is its own foundation. Okay? It knows exactly where it is. So it's about you identifying your body, or everything around you is going to identify your body and take over your bodies, because you're not identifying what you are through travel, through navigation. As long as you identify the foundations and the modifications that you're going through, different models, communications, their prototypes, and what your avatar is doing, go through the different levels, then you understand location setting, what's going on with your grounds, the powers, the atmospheres, and in the line condition settings to highways, track calculus lines, and modification system, your modem communication, Wi-Fi communication lines, how to locate your satellites and towers of communication. So you are in line with you. Because if you're not, you're going to be like this, trying to understand what's going on. Not understanding the remote control. Not understand how to turn on a TV. Not understand how to pick up a coffee cup. Not understand how to sit in a chair. That's where we're coming into. Not understand how to use a phone. Not understand how to use my computer. Because they're at the frequency right now where it's becoming its own foundation of its own mindset. Okay? It's becoming more powerful than you can imagine. Imagine, you can imagine. What can you imagine? Right? You get into the imagination, it turns everything location AI, it formulates and communicates to your system, it connects to the grounds, the powers, the atmosphere, the highways right away, modem, the line position of the towers, locate your satellites. Congratulations, you're creating a thought. Now, where does the thought come from? It comes from inside. But where does it come from inside? Where does it come from? Right? Where does it come from? It doesn't come from you. It comes to you through attraction, but it doesn't come from you. It comes from its own foundation setting of operation. Okay? So understand that position locations, then you understand the location setting through your mindset. All right? It comes to you. So you are not creating the thoughts, actions, and emotions. You're just attracting the thoughts, the actions, and the emotions, because it's already set in the mind, people. That's why I want you guys to understand that through configuration, then you understand the future adaptations of you, that you come in new levels of you and position to a new page of you, new Vortronic location of you, right? Cross-line signal lines are one line, the alpha line rotations. This is all lines of delta, communication lines of direct location, general AI. This is day one core track interference. I have configuration lines of confusion. Direct lines of graph, calculus lines, and radial signal lines of travel, imposition lines of delta. Continuum line, force lines, and transmission. Okay? Set calculus lines, day two. This is day two of track application lines. This is general AI, signing in. Core track interference line direct signals. I'm still getting into modification lines of confusion, but in better lines of communication lines, adaptation lines of surface. I'm retracking line calculation setting. Taking break, line communications, breaking down calculation lines of clock lines, interference, and transmission. Okay? So that's what you're doing. You're trying to understand you through the vessel and how to travel. Setting communication lines are Voltronics. Voltronic lines, volume, vast, velocity, and volume. Location setting the vacuum, right? So get that position of the 4 track lines, 1 cycle, 1 system, 1 travel, 1 rotation, 1 surface, 1 line position calculation. It's all travel, isn't it? All through pi. So letters and position don't exist until they come into existence. So you have to understand that you are bringing things in through attraction, and that's what your body is. Your body is just an attraction to everything in your chronological order, because you already have it in a mapping sequence. Now, once you understand that, either you understand the foundation that's coming to you, or you're never going to understand anything of attractions of your body. And let me say that again. You're never going to understand anything in attractions of your body. Okay? You're not creating the thoughts. The thoughts are given to you through attraction. Make a multipass. Try to get into that position. Now, once you understand the center calculation line, the mind and foundation travels an online communication system. So the mind is tomorrow. You can't see tomorrow, but it's always here. But you don't know when it's going to be here. Right? Because you don't know when you're going to come into a thought. So that thought is already setting. That thought is already done. That thought is already in position. That thought's already in the future. That thought is already in calculation system. So if you get a 2050, let's track calculus lines of direct signals. All right, it's 2050, right? Okay, so that's 2050, right? Real-time management, right? You're 2030, right? But your position, your thought is 19, okay, in position lines and calculation lines, 1955. Okay, so this is already done in chronological order. So it symbols to you in attractions and its calculation lines of center. Comes to you in 5, 5, 9, and 1 track location. All through electrical lines, a console, core track location, electrical line ball. Light goes on, right? That's the connection high center interference of travel in position of 2050 to 1955, right? So all this of 2050 is already done. Chronological line correlation setting to travel endpoint line communication settings here in position 1955, central time, line communications, clocking time, high track location where you are into a volume and position of mass, velocity, location, acceleration. Direct lines are calculating, modifying track location, line side center. So it's all position its calculation, right? That's already in the position. All right. So it's already set. So you are not creating thoughts because the thoughts are already done, right? Let's say 8-track location, direct signal locations. All right. So it's 2012. Okay. You're 2012 real time. Okay. 2012 real time, right? But you're in a parallel now. Another dimension, another space, another time, right? Woo! All right, 2060. All right, so 2060, and say, hey, listen, all right, we're in real time, man. 2060 is now in real time. So you're caught in position of two centers of two parallels. You're in two parallels now, two dimensions, two different space, two modification lines, acceleration. That's how General is able to be in one picture and two lines of frame all at once. How you see me in the center operation of me here and also in the back. That's how you come into the past, present, future. And that's what the team's coming into now. Chronological order and setting. So it's like you communicating with yourself and realize that, hey, don't do this because this is going to happen. Oh, don't do this. This is going to happen. Oh, you got to put this in. Oh, you got to put that in because that's what you're coming into. Starting to make sense? Good. Understanding acceleration is understanding position of time measured. 2012 that you're in cycle, but you're also in another parallel of 2060. So you're living two lives as center core system of yin and yang. That's a consonant. And that's a lines of anomaly that you get in your position of all lines of communications and center calculations and confusion. Directing lines of signals, back force, line calculations, setting to travel. Says communicates off calculation lines of direct locations, high center interference to travel. Direct lines of modification lines, high track location system. So you're living lines of 2012 in position of real time, but you're getting coordinates and communication lines of 2060 in calculation. All right. So in position, let's go to 3000. All right. So it's 3000. Okay, 3 cycles and line communications, right? But you're living 2025. Sets core settings, high line positional setting location, time measures, core track location lines of provision. Okay, center core track lines is center line communication lines of high calculation. Right. So in that position, you're also in two parallels, paradox and a paradigm. Shift lines anomaly, travel and rotation, surface interaction. Directed signals, cross line signals, and all line center location to its default. Setting communication lines and configuration face mechanism of time sequence. You live in two parallels in line position location. 3000 and line set place in 2025 all at once. Right? So you got to understand that your future and your position, your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions is already set. Does that blow your mind? Because the film strip is all ready to go. You're just coming into attractions, coming to you through your body. So if you get into that and you focus on that, then there's nothing to focus on, but everything comes to you, informations. Focus on nothing shows you everything. And when it shows you everything, it opens all levels of you in a plasma screen. And it just expands all levels of the mind system and track location, right? Direct lines of signals and cross location setting, Xbox location center. Sets communication high center interference. It's 4,000 years in the future. 3 cycles, line communication setting, right? 3 platforms, setting direct signals, right? Thoughts are there, actions and emotions ready to go, right? But you're actually in 3000, okay, 25. Okay, so symbolized lines, you're always in a parallel, you're always in a paradox, you're always in a paradigm, but you're connected with each other in position of pattern. Sets core centers a center communication setting now operationalizes a surface correlation setting to its consonant that puts all levels of U in travel and mechanism location of acceleration. So it set position lines, you live in 4,000, but you also live in 3,025 all at once in travel. Okay? So direct that and get balance with that is to understand how you see yourself, is to balance that in position in 4,000, knowing that, oh my God, I'm living two parallel lives. Okay, so it could be 4,000 in the future, it could be 4,000 years in the past, or 4,000 years in the present. Gotcha. So just because I say 4,000 doesn't mean it's a causal location to its system through value, volume, mass, or acceleration. So you have to understand how to go through your accelerations of particles and settings, how to travel through your own nuclear core aligned position of acceleration of speed and track location. Because that's all this is. Flower recognition of time. Okay? Then you come into your tree. Oh my gosh, this starts to make sense. Look at that. Look at the tree come in. And it's set correlations and travel, right? Direct signals and modification, right? There's the tree. Okay? Oh, right? All right. So I'm trying to get you guys to understand now how you come into your platforms of past, present, future, and how to use it through the parallels of paradigms and locations to parallels of communications, how you can live two different lives in one cycle. Okay? That's where you guys get confused, the platforms, because the thing is, your 5,000 years of thoughts, actions, emotions is already done. It's already set up. So you're just coming into attractions of what you already have. So the more you understand that, the more you focus on the nothing, the more you see. But you have to understand the constant location acceleration of its particle of what's putting you in position. Okay, I'm in the past right now in position. So I'm back in 1845, but I'm also seeing the future of 2025. So I'm in configuration of two parallels going back in time, forward in time, back in time, forward in time, back in time, forward in time, right? So you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? So once you understand how to direct and redirect your signals, the position of platforms, center lines of correlation settings of balance. You're balancing your systems. So once you get into that, it comes into one constant in position, yin and yang, a balance of communication to its flywheel, track location infinity 8. Getting that position lines of track calculus lines are at the same locations. You have to understand how to use that in all levels, how to understand the particle and acceleration of U to the nucleus core of its tesseract that's inside the core setting. That gets all position locations. And then you understand position location mainframe, box frame, central frame, over frame. Okay? Tracking two lines of communication lines of two datas, three communication lines of two box locations, three set correlation lines of flux. Three core track lines of high direct signals into modification lines of tango. Track lines of high center interference modification lines of tango. Cross line connection setting. Cross line centers of center operation line connection setting. And uniform and pop-up positional calculation setting. All right. So everything that I say is Votronic, and how I say it through vast volume, velocity, and vacuum, it's all about understanding how to use that through line signals, how you put yourself in a box, and how I'm here, and how I am here in setting. That's the parallel. This is the balance right here. Okay, that's what it is. So you see me here, but you also see me here in its mainframe, right? So understand the acceleration of its portal, understanding the acceleration of its sitting through time, which is all levels of projection. Okay, puts all signals in balance of communications, how you see yourself in all calculations modified in track location, right? So seeing yourself in line position of paradox is understanding your quantum entanglements that you have. Line signals of wires, lacing line communication, cross-line signals. Quantum interference, right? Setting lines of communication, high direct signal location. So in that position lines of calculation screen lines, if you're to get balanced with the grounds is going to fix it, the power is going to fix it, and the atmosphere is going to fix it, and the highway is going to fix itself in position location attractions until you understand how to use yourself, modificate your system, take all the mechanics out of you, and body modification of your vessel and communication. All right? So it's coming back to its own system of all calculations, right? More and more each time. Modification lines of 1 into position of 3 and 4 and 6 locations. Direct lines of platforms 1, 2, 3, and 4 settings of tango. Tango, tango. See? Tango, tango. Tango, Tango, Fox. Okay, sets lines, square root, box location centers, 3 set correlation lines of traction. Direct lines into 1, 2, 3 set lines of 4, set position of 1, 2, 3, and 4 settings of solar sail and track location of 1, 2, 3, 4, and position of binary and track location. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? But you see the formation, see the eye, see the mouth? That's the formation of intelligence, right? So everything that I do is already set in the mind. So understanding the future, let's say it's 10,000, okay, because you're actually there. The only difference is you have to understand the parallels. You have to understand the calculations set into positional equations and where you are in travels. The identification lines at 3 panels, line track calculation lines, direct signals. 1 panel, operation lines and setting. 3, correlation setting and track communication, right? So that's set position lines, high correlation setting, and line communication setting. Let's say that you're way above the system and you're in 20,000 years in the future, okay? 3 bracket lines and 3 course track location and provision lines of cycles, right? So you're living here, but you're getting information here. So that's a back force, and the line communication defaults. Retriangulate position lines of correlation setting and part of acceleration, line position location of parallel. Position lines of calculation of paradigm, sets lines communication lines of center operation lines of set correlation, travel lines of point lines of graph communicate to a system through operation, right? So you are going faster in the mind through acceleration of past, present, and future now through platforms. See, it's about understanding how everything is set up for you already. So you're bringing things through attraction, which you already have. So you never really are creating your thoughts and actions, emotions, if it's already set, okay? So understand the future adaptation of you is understanding you from, let's say, 1700s. Okay, you got 1700s of track location lines of setting, right? So you're in 1700s, right? But now you're in position of 2000. Okay, you're in 2000, right? So you're getting information and cycle, right? From the mind. From the mind and the mind. So the mind is the past, present, future. The center core system is 1, 2, 3 in position of travel. It's the direct cases of 1, 2, 3 in position of travel. Okay? So you have to understand the center operation of you, where you are in its parallel of acceleration in time. Okay? Sets lines of the course and direct signals of what you're doing in your positions, all levels of your travels and mechanism. Okay? So getting that consonant and getting into the anomalies is really understand how to see yourself in position. So the team is getting to a higher level now where they're going to come into more levels of the past, present, and the future now, right? Because that's how it's set up in 2, 4, and 6 location settings. All right? Platforms 1, 2, 3, set lines of 12. Okay? So the ground centers of 1 in position of 2, over cross lines of 3 and 4, and 6 lines like position lines of 3 track location. Now, direct lines of signals, getting into that position lines and calculation setting to understand you through acceleration, understand the line condition interstellar, hyperspeed, hypermode, hyperdrive, center drive, communication drive, high inference drive. Getting lines at ionospheres, correlation spheres, track spheres, center spheres, megaspheres, multi-spheres, galactic spheres, track location spheres, operation spheres, communication lines of spheres. Everything is a sphere inside of you, right? All you're doing is you're expanding your mind, but now you come into the position what's already set up in the mind through foundation, right? So you have to understand these things. And then you realize, wow, I'm not creating thoughts, actions, emotions because I already see the future in me. Let me say that again. I'm not seeing the position lines of track location system until I let go of everything and surrender. Surrendering is position of all lines of all communication of discernment that puts all levels of you information lines of balance. And the more you direct your signal and the more you don't focus on nothing, the more you see everything in attractions. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm actually in 3000, but I'm connected in 1999. So you're connected to 2 parallel universes, living the same time. Okay? That's where it gets confusing for the team. You're reaching higher levels now, guys, because you're seeing more future adaptation of you. So once you get the constant and the balance of yin and yang, the process of the communication system, and once you take out the mechanisms of your body and really extend the formations of youth and navigation system, then you extend the balance of positional location of 1999 or anywhere you are in the future. But it's all through plateau, it's all through image, it's all through position, it's all through schematics. That's already in the mindset. Okay? And you have to know these things now, right? Because all levels of you is coming in chronological order of attraction. Okay? So what you're doing in position at the same time, you're different lines of calculations and you're creating lines that align position location of your games. Yes, you're creating new in position. Yes, you're doing that in real time, but you're also in parallels of other times. You're not just in the central system of your center. You're in the central system of everything, which is nothing. So you're seeing lines of 1999. You're seeing lines of 2001. You're seeing lines of 2020. You're seeing lines of 5,000 years. You're seeing 1,000 lines of 25,000 years in the future. You're seeing 1,000 line 150,000 years in the future, but you're in three parallels, two parallels, or one parallel, in a paradox, in a paradigm, in a polar shift, in convulsion, in compulsory, and set position to your polarities. So getting that position location is all levels of you through center operation. Understanding how to use your thoughts is all levels in track location and setting through operation, right? So whatever you do, you're bringing information lines of platforms and travel. Line calculation setting, platform 1. Calculation lines of platform 2. Core track interference, platform 6, 8, and 12 set cohesion lines of box center. So that's what the team's coming into now. Because you have to start recognizing the platforms that in position location was never created, okay? Because it's already created for you and set it, right? This is about understanding the mind, how you understand the central system, how you're in 7-day week, and then it goes back to 0. That's all it is. You got to get out of the 7 days. You got to get out of the 7 days, guys, all right? That's very confusing to your minds. Process lines of 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 correlations. Trap position lines of ground centers 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 calculation. Correct signal, right? So in that track line's highest interference, everything that goes back to 0, it cancels everything out, sets defaults, in line calculation setting to travel, right? Basic automatically comes in all position location override. And that position location, that keeps you in the center operation line calculation setting to travel, but you're constantly going faster and faster through time and timeless at once. That's what the team's coming into. So every time you're traveling through constant location setting, you're going time and timeless, shape and shapeless, form and formless. That's what you're doing through direct and redirect. You're going faster now in travel. Okay. The faster you go, the more you understand the location system. They realize, oh my gosh, I understand the platforms now. I said, okay, so there is no platform. It's just me now. So it's getting you out of position to understand how to see yourself in a donut and center operation of you as center. Okay. Setting lines of communication lines of 3 triangulation and flux. Constant correlation setting travels, indirect location system, all position location system, and flux capacitor. Travel point lines of graph, one to another and travel. Direct line signals. So you're always connected to everything of nothing and nothing of everything in position. There's nothing in between. So you guys are coming into the existence of non-existence of everything that you see now, right? But you have to send the platforms that you're coming into now. You're traveling through the 1900s. You're traveling through the 1800s. You're traveling through the 2000s because it's information of balance now that's already set up in you in the future, right? So everything you're doing is real time, yes, in that position. And you're changing these things. But the mind is already set up through foundation. That's why it's so powerful, right? So recognizing that and focusing on nothing, focus you on everything that you see in position because that's all you're focusing on, nothing else. There's nothing else to focus on. The focus is on you now. And all set line position location to its electrical line communication to its ball intelligence. Okay. So in that position, which gets a lot more easier now, you understand the lines of settings when you come into information locations. Then you understand why general is in position of 1 frame into 2 lines of parallels. 2 different time measures, 2 different scales. So whatever you bring in thought, you're bringing it already in past, present, and future right away. And that's why you guys get confused through box, main, and circuitry lines of frames that communication line setting. Okay? Getting image lines of past, present, and future at the same time. Yes, people. You're going faster now into your highways and platforms of communication, setting the grounds, powers, and napsters. That's all it is in track lines. And they realize, oh, okay, I'm in the past line, but I'm also in the future line, but I'm also in the center line position of the present line. There's the balance, right? You got balance there. There's no balance if you're off this positional location calculation. You're crossing lines of reference. That's not good. Crossing line calculation setting. That's not good. That's quantum interference. X3000 comes in, fix this, fix that. All lines at positions, back in track lines, back in center, operation lines of surface, and track location. Okay? The center operation of U is nothing. There's nothing in between. There's nothing above. There's nothing below. It's just U in the center. So you have to get rid of the filters and position of arrow, indication, settings, and travels. You can't have anything blocking your system. So you got two open panels, but you got a blocking system here, and you got a blocking system here in travel, right? That's not good. That means you're stuck in the past in a forward screen, but you're lost in signal in the past screen location, and you have no direct signal location. Your future adaptation lines a solar sail and one signal of a modification. There's the confusion right there. All three platforms are past, present, future. So every time you got into a thought, be careful now, because it's coming into constant location of yin and yang, of past, present, future location you're setting in operation. Okay? Getting that direct signals, you got to come out of the filters of everything now, right? So, for example, there's no wall here. No wall here, 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 no wall here. It's just you. Everything around you is empty space. Now, once you understand that, then you understand the provisions of its parallels and acceleration through time. You come into space, you come into time. You come into timeless, and you come into spaceless interaction. So every time you come into a thought, it's coming in the past, present, and future right away. And it's coming through its image, and it's coming from its brain. So you come into a name, congratulations, you brought that in past, present, and future right away. All through a box frame, okay? All through 3 box frames. Now, which one are you in center operation of? Are you connected to the past? Are you connected to the present? Are you connected to the future and setting? Right? Where's the center operation of you and track stones? How do I get in direct line condition setting to its parallel? How do I understand that I'm living the past and the future and the present all at once in real-time management? When you guys go to higher line setting in mind lines adaptations, then you understand the force of recognition. But the center operation of you is always in the same tractions of same set correlations of location of division. It's going in the same system location of center operation of you. It's the flowing recognition of setting that comes into the continuum of sync correlation. That is the balance of past, present, and future. Everything that you bring in, you're bringing it very fast in position. Okay? The mind is bringing the attractions to your system, to the body, okay, in the past, in the present, or in the future. Okay? So it's very careful of what you do when you bring names or anything in line setting calculations. So if you bring in an image, okay, you bring in an image that's 3,000, but you think it's 2,000. But wait a minute, maybe it's 1,000. No, I think it's 500. No, I think it's 50 now. No, I think it's 2. You see the confusion there? You see the quantum interference? You don't even know where you are in center operation anymore. Because you're out of confusion. Okay? If you're out of confusion, you're in confusion. See? Getting in position of balance is understanding the 2, is understanding the 5 and 0, is understanding the 5, 0, 0, is understanding the 1, 0, 0, 0, is understanding the 2, 0, 0, 0, and understanding the 3, 0, 0, 0, 0. Going in the same traction, same division, same calculation, same distance in set correlations, like the domino effect. If you get a domino effect, okay, and it's all platform, it has a line position, outline, grid line, rotation cycle. So you got 45,000 dominoes, right? And they're all falling all at once in the same pattern, in the same directions, in the same program. But they're going in the same distance. They're going in the same location. They're staying in line with each other. What happens if one falls off? What happens if one gets out of line? You all get out of line. That's what it is. And that's why you're so confused. They say, whoa, what am I doing here? I don't want to be here. You're out of line now. You're not back in the alignment of the abdominal effect. You're not in your divergence. You're not in your allegiance. You're not in your alignment. You're not in your unit. You're not in your core. You're very confused in the past, present, future now in its alignment, which is real-time management. So that's what it is, team, now. You're coming into the past, present, future in real time. Okay? Because it's already mindset in your system through traction. Okay? So you never are really creating thoughts, actions, and emotions because it's already set up in the future. And then you understand the more lines that you focus on yourself, then you understand how to use the positive and negative has to go in the same direction, just different divisions. That's abundance of manifestation. It's going through its dimensional doors, but at least you got past. You bypassed the past, the present, and future. Okay? Of your thoughts, your actions, and emotions going in the same division. Same continuous force, same continuum, all at once in the same direction, just different locations. That's what you got to do in the mind. Because if you don't do that, you're going to get very confused of your elements of where you are in your past, present, and future in real time. Okay? So, because the team's coming into that level, you're reaching higher levels of use of the mind, of existence, and location of your intelligence, and set position at ground levels. How to use that in modification. All right? So, you have to be very careful how you're bringing your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions, because the mind is already set up. It's already set up. You're changing things in real time. Okay? That's how you see things. But the mind is already set up through its image. It's just coming to you through attraction now. And once you understand that, you understand the mapping system. And all lines of all communication system. Then you understand the past, the present, and the future of its thoughts that come in. Real time, and real time. Okay? That's what the team's coming into now. And it's going to get freaky too. Because you're coming in a box, you come in the mainframe, circuitry lines, circuitry communication lines frame, electrical frames, electrical communication frames, graph communication frame, center core line calculation frame, CPU frame communication lines, high correlation set signs. You have to start using your electronics, so your past, present, and future in real time now. And that's where the team's coming in position. Now, the center core system, when it comes into levels with the units, they have to identify their vessels, how to navigate their system, just like the team did. And once you understand that through directions, I understand where I am in my parallels. I'm in 3 different dimensions all at once. Oh my gosh, I'm living the past, the present, and future all at once in real time? Yep. Now, are you not comfortable with that? Because you don't know where you are now. You're lost in transition. You put yourself in 3 track locations of 3 lines of black holes and no idea what you did. But it's in real time. Okay? So that's what you guys have to really be cautious of now through your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions. Okay? Emotion lines. I'm telling you right now, you got to get in position, location, your thoughts, and what you're doing through your actions in 3 cycles. Position lines of flux, set lines of track location, direct lines of modification lines of flux, and line position lines of act location, direct lines of modification lines of E factors, X lines of 1, X lines of 2, X lines of 3, 3 box location lines of flux, triangulation lines, Fibonacci, core track and percentage, line connected question, line initiate, run, execute, line position of program, direct signal modification, done. It's all through collaboration, through past, present, and future. So now you guys are coming into coordinates into planets of past, present, and future. Because you're out of the 12 foundations of setting now. Once you get into 13 graphs, you're ready to go in the higher self of the mind. You were in the higher self of the body. Now you're higher self of the mind. So that's what it is. You start with the body, understand the vessel, operation system. Now you understand the mind adaptation through the higher self, through the avatar, and the sin. All over again, just in the mind. 1 ground, 3 line cycles, 3 panels, and core track calculation. Setting lines of 3, 3, 3, and set correlation. Travel, right? Sets communication line direct signals, waiting on the signal, waiting on signal, waiting on the signal. You're setting down in line position location on 13 tractions. All right, so getting into the configuration system, then you understand how higher levels of view of the mind system, because it starts 13, starts in line communication lines, high track location, then you think of 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and line position location of 20 set correlations, right? All through the mind. Okay, everything's in the mind, right? So that's what the team's coming into. And once you understand that, then you understand how to modify that through the acceleration, so the accelerators. Understand how to vortex, really understand how to time length and time jump, how to jump start, basically how to get in position location at center operation of you. Then you come into all lines of platform, all communication of electronics. Getting lines direct signal, modificate, high calculate, modify, gets into all levels that communicates to its setting, right? 4-box location line sending high interference to tangle, far start, copy over. Done. That's it. That's it. Nothing else, right? Because I know what it did through travel. I know what it did correlation setting. The box is in the past, present, and future, and position lines of calculation. That's what it is now. So everything that's in foundation now is in the center of operation of you. Now you have to recognize that through its past, present, and future of real time. To get into that, then you realize the past, present, and future. Wow, the only thing that exists is me. I understand my parallels now. So I can be in 2 different lines at different time. And you have to understand your clocking, so 4 settings and 4 set location of travel. Because if you don't, you're very confused and you're offline communication lines of travel. Okay? But you're always directing and redirecting your system. It's about you understanding the balance of you with your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, right? If you get a course setting in a planet line position and a 3-track line, provision line calculates lines of pi, but your position lines is in the past, but you understand the present, but you understand the future and travel. So you're in position of confusion, line condition setting Quebec. 3-track location in the 4 setting travel communications, right? The part of accelerate is the center core system that puts everything information location to balance back in location default, back in setting, back in operation system. So the position lines of specification and all levels put you into your divergence, alliance, and allegiance, and really understand how to formulate that in line position locations to your settings, how to communicate with that with your thoughts, your actions, your emotional location to its sending, location to its content. Get you in all position to its calculations. How you see things and how you connect with things and how you hear things is now in position of past, present, and future of real time. This is where the team comes into doppelgangers. Okay? Now, when I set up your doppelgangers, you're going to be the past, present, and future all at once. Right? And recognize that. Whoa, I created that. But it was co-created, but that's not me, the co-creation. I am the creator. But if I'm the creator of the creation, that means I'm creating new. And I realize, well, I don't want the past, but I do want the future. But I think I don't need the present. But right now, you can do whatever you want. You can change whatever you want because that's what you're doing. But your frequencies are always in signal at a different level, but it's never in a formation location of grounds. See, once you ground something, you're in a parallel. And once you're in a ground position location, you're in a consonant. And when you're consonant, you're in an anomaly. So you're lost in transition of 3 lines of communications. Live in the past, present, future all at once in real time. You have no idea where you are. That's all it is. Done, right? So this is what the team's coming into now. Then you really start to identify the past, present, and future. And how it works with you is adding frames. You add past, you add present, you add future. So you're in that controlling system now. And understanding that in position is to get yourself out of the mechanics of you of travel and navigation, right? So getting into that position location gets you all levels of balance, okay? So I want you to really, really pay attention to that now. Because you're always going to be going through tests. You're always going to go be line calculations, setting to value, and you're all lines at high center location to your system to review. This is getting you to understand what the mind really is, informations of you. Okay? Because it's already in set. The mind is already in set. The body is in position of coming into attraction. You're changing things in real time, yes. But you have to stand the platforms now have to be the past, present, and future so you can get out of that. And once you get out of that, it's just you, the center operation of nothing. Nothing comes in frame because you don't allow it. Nothing comes in frame because you don't allow it. Nothing comes in frame because you don't allow it. See? It doesn't matter. But you want something to come in, right away it comes in, right? You're bringing that in. Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm taking over your system. You allowed it in. Okay. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. But you got to get balanced with your parallels, the paradox, paradigms, and polar shifts. How you come into that lines of all over the consonant line, position location, puts you in acceleration lines of space and time. Okay? Very powerful stuff in all lines of all communication system. But that's why you guys get confused, because you don't want to be there, right? It doesn't matter. You're there in real time. Your foundation is the mindset that's already in system, okay? But it's the real time that changes you through the quantum location, how you see yourself in space and time through acceleration, and how you see yourself through particle. So part of accelerators is line communication system. Understand how to use yourself through thermal, how to understand how to use your lights, your tractions, your divisions, your locations, your clockings, your foundations, and all levels of your CPU locations that entrap through abstraction. It's all lines of view and balance on communications, how to use yourself through Botronic in the past, present, and future now, in real time. Management and all position of space-time operations in my mainframe and locations to ascending of its website of its domain. Okay? That's it. See you in 5.